when you talk about the positives, when you talk about the names and attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, you would see that on several occasions in the Quran, you have the pairs of the names of Allah Azza wa Jal. Yeah, you seldom see that Allah Azza wa Jal has just mentioned one name at the end of so many ayahs of the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal keeps bringing up several combinations of names. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ سَمِيعًا عَلِيمًا. Yeah. Wallahu alimun hakim. Yeah. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Yeah. And innahu huwa tawwabur rahim. So every single time you look at those ayahs that are ending with the names of Allah Azza wa Jal, seldom do you find that the name is only one. It's usually either two or sometimes more. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal is talking about the affirmation of His names and attributes. And the beauty here is that on a lot of such occasions, when you take such names of some names of Allah Azza wa Jal, what happens actually is that because of such combination of names, a new characteristic, a new attribute could be found out. Yeah. I'll give you an analogy of that. When you say At-Tawwab Ar-Rahim, yeah. So Allah Azza wa Jal talks about Himself, you know, Innahu huwa Tawwabur Rahim. That indeed Allah Azza wa Jal alone is the one that accepts the repentance. He is At-Tawwab. At-Tawwab is someone who accepts the tawbah, who accepts the repentance, who grants forgiveness. At-Tawwab is someone who grants forgiveness. Ar-Rahim, innahu huwa Tawwabur Rahim. He is not only someone who grants forgiveness, the pairing is he is also absolutely merciful. Now, the third quality that you can actually see from such names is that usually, when in the case of this world, people usually tend to forgive under some influence or some pressure. You may have, if you are in that position of, calling the shots, position of significance, and there's this someone who's, under you, inferior to you, reports to you, works for you, and you have to, when you choose to forgive him, you forgive him for a reason. Either you want him to continue to generate profit for you, or because he's come up to you with an apology and you liked his apology, you wanted to give him the benefit of doubt, or there is another influence. Someone else said, no, no, this time round, please forgive him. So you either forgive that person because of influence or because of pressure or something other. There's a solid reason behind that. But Allah Azza wa Jal, when Allah Azza wa Jal forgives his slaves, he doesn't have to look for reasons like that. Which is why he says, Innahu huwa tawwabur rahim. He is forgiving as well as he is merciful. Therefore, he is forgiving you because of his mercy. So this is this new, thing about Allah Azza wa Jal, that he forgives because he loves being merciful. He forgives because he himself is so very merciful. Likewise, when you say Allah Azza wa Jal is Al-Aziz Al-Hakim, Aziz is someone who's actually very powerful, someone who can have his way. Yeah, that's who Al Aziz is. We're going to close it, inshallah ta'ala, in a minute.